I just want to do the go to the door and see if I see you. Now I feel
I can't tell if I can be. Yeah.
Thank you. Where are you sitting? Where are you sitting? It was they were like, I'm gonna put you in the second row.
Two. Testing.
Live. I mean, I can't hear this right now. Yeah. So it's check, mic check. I hear a little bit. I don't know what line this is, and there's no indicator because it's not a wireless mic. So it's one of the last 6 channels. These. Check. I hear a little bit. Check. Better. Check. Good morning. There you go. What number is that? Okay, there we go. We know.
was pretty next to the wedding, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there a bride side and a
Side
groom
on
side?
the bride side, yeah.
I don't.
You're all seeing the same wedding.
Well, yeah, and it's the same wedding and the same
Okay.
family, why divide?
Is it? I didn't even see that. Okay, so 7. Okay, so now we know. Good. And here we have.
Would that make it evident if one party is larger than the other?
Here in the house.
It does, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if that.
I've been sliding. You know, close maybe. I don't think so, but you know. Yeah. I mean,
That's not.
was the
Oh, is it mine? Since you're ahead.
is it just gonna be one? Oh no. Yeah. Well,
Check outside, see if
that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's choose- oh, it's a security camera. And so the sound. Does it run through the same?
Good question.
Will there be a like a? Will there be like an addition? Like small room? No, here in.
Oh, this one here.
Let's play a little something. Good morning. Is it? Oh, okay. wasn't sure if it was. Okay. What's our YouTube link? It's. Yeah.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבר אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful to see you here, Rabbi mayor joining us from Jerusalem, and all of your beautiful faces here to celebrate a bar mitzvah, to celebrate, wow, this is your last. A beautiful, beautiful extended family, some of you from all the way from Israel, and ties within our own community. So everybody should have a Shabbat prayer book. Please follow along. If you know the Hebrew well, great, sing, sing, sing. If Hebrew is unfamiliar to you, all of the prayers are transliterated. They're written out in English characters. Mostly bring your neshama, bring your soul, bring your gratitude, your prayers for this beautiful young man and amazing family, and the joy of Shabbat. Just invite you to participate and to be here. And to that end, brought a phone with you.
Let it have a Shabbat.
Yes, you could turn it on silent, or if you want to be bold, you could just turn it off. We are on page 74. So lots of
Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה אל היכל קודשך ויראתך מה טובו. Join us. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. אדוני אהבתי מהון ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך, משכן כבודך, ואני אשתחווה ואפרע לפני אדוני עושי. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך, אלוהים ברוב חסדך ענני באמת אישך. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. משכנותיך ישראל.
Continuing on 78, Elohim Shama, prayer for the purity of spirit that is within all of us, our essence, that place we get to return to on Shabbat as we shed all the dust of the week and take a deep breath, breathe in that neshama, that purity and strength of soul. 78.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, neshama, שנתת בי, שנתת בי. טהורה היא, טהורה היא. Join with us. אלוהי, אלוהי, נשמה, נשמה, שנתת בי, שנתת בי, שנתת בי. טהורה היא, טהורה היא. Let's read together in the English. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God, and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. 3 lines from the bottom, or at the bottom of the page. Baruch atah Adonai, asher beyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basari.
Turning now to page 80, we call up our bar mitzvah. He's going to be helping to lead us in the Nisi B'chol Yom. That's you. You're the bar mitzvah. He's going to be helping us to make our journey through these Nisi B'chol Yom, miracles of every day, and the brachot that we're going to offer. It's very elevated language, but they're really, every single bracha is leading us through the gestures of awakening. Our brain waking up, our eyes opening, putting our feet on the floor, walking into the day. Each of those gestures is a miracle. May we embrace them with a sense of purpose and kedusha. We do.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sefi bina lehechbim ben yom uvein laila, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen. You can join with us at any part, but if you haven't said the bracha, you should at least say the
Amen. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen. Thinking of those who are held captive wherever they may be. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
82.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our stead.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
4. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin, who has made me free.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew, or whatever spiritual path I follow.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'hetzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to engage with words of Torah. Amen.
Now you're all warmed up. You can go take a load off for a few minutes. Moving to page 88, we just said the bracha for Torah study. And so now we study a little passage of our tradition. These words are really about showing up for these amazing fancy moments when we're in uncomfortable shoes, and showing up for moments of mourning, and showing up for the daily moments and all the ways that we're there for each other. I know that happens in this community and certainly in this family. Join with me, 88. These are things that are limitless,
of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among all people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
We are going to continue with Baruch She'amar 94.
Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu, Baruch oseh v'reishit, Baruch omer v'yoseh, Baruch ozerum kayem, Baruch merachem al haaretz, Baruch merachem al habriot, Baruch meshalem sachar tov l'reiav, Baruch chai la'ad v'kayam lanetzach, Baruch podeh umatzil, Baruch shemo. בשבחות ובזמרות נגד לך, ונשבחך ונפרך, ונזכיר שמך ונמליך, מלכנו אלוהינו, יחיד חי העולמים, מלך משובח ומפאר עד יד, שמו הגדול, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מחולל בתשבחות.
97 Ashrei.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך סלה. אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו תהילה לדוד. ארומימך אלוהי המלך, ועברך שמך לעולם ועד. בכל יום אברכך, והללה שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני ומחולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר. דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו, הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלותיך עשיך. ועזוז נרותיך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה, זכרתך יביעו, ותקרך ירננו. חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדל חסד טוב, אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו. יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך. 98 כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו. להודיע לבן אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. סומך אדוני לכל הנוכלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים. עיני חולליך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו. פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל חי רצון. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו. קרוב אדוני קוראיו, לכל אשר יקראוהו באמת. רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם. שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד. תהילת אדוני ידבר בי, ויברך כל בשר, שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה.
Page 100, Psalm 150.
Going to need your help with this one. especially those of you who don't speak Hebrew. I'm going to teach you a word. It's a Hebrew word. It's very difficult. Hallelujah. Bet you didn't know that was Hebrew. But here we go. We'll just have to do this. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. And those of you who do read Hebrew, the last lines at the bottom are our refrain. They're also in the Hebrewish. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah. Do we have that? Let's try it. Ready, Sam? Hallelujah, bekodesho, hallelujah, 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 birkia uzo, hallelujah, 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 bigvurotav, hallelujah, 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 kerov gurlo, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Beteka shofar, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Benevel vechinor, hallelujah, hallelujah. Betov umachol, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Beminim ve'ugav, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Betzitzle shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Betzitzle terua, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Make sure you get in your steps. 101. Shmat kol chai, soul of all life.
After that workout, we could use a little breath. Nishmat kol chai, tevarech et shimcha, Adonai Eloheinu. Nishmat kol chai, tevarech et shimcha, Adonai Eloheinu. Lai 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 ya la 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 lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 all things that live to God thanks must give. Adonai Eloheinu. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha, Adonai Eloheinu. Lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 ya la lai 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 even
if our mouths were full of song as the sea, and our tongues full of joy in countless ways, and our lips full of praise as wide as the sky's expanse, and were our eyes to shine like sun and moon, if our hands were spread out like
heaven's eagles, and our feet swift like young deer,
we could never thank you adequately, Adonai, our God, God of our ancestors, to bless your name for a 10,000th of the many myriads of times you granted favors to our ancestors and to us.
In the middle of page 104. Shochen had marom vekadosh shemo vechatuv rahananu tzadikim badonai leisharim navat tehila befi sharim tithalal udivrei tzadikim titbarach ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקלות רביבות עמך בית ישראל, ברינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו, בכל דור ודור. Top of 105. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, שיר ושבחה הלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה נצח, גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חי העולמי. יקרא ויקדש שם רבה, ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יפרח וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן ביעלמה ויאמרו
We rise now either physically or in spirit. If we're unable to stand, that's fine. We're on 108, and we invite up our bar mitzvah one more time. 108.
Lai, 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 hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Yotzer or uvorei choshech, osei shalom uvorei et hakol. Let's read together at the bottom of the page. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes geese and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may all swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. 3 lines from the bottom. Or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu meheira leoro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hameorot.
112.
Ahava rabbah ahavtanu, Adonai Eloheinu, chemla gedola v'teira, chamalta aleinu, avor avoteinu, ve'imotenu, shebarchu v'cha, vad lamdim chukei chaim. Ein techonenu ud lamdeinu, am rachem rachem aleinu, v'tein belibeinu, v'havinu haskil lishmoa, lilmod ulamed, lishmor ve'lasot ulkayim, et kol divrei Talmud, Torah צווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue with Micha Mocha. We are on page 122.
משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם לי 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 Adonai, Yimlo, Ve'olam Va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Tzor Yisrael, Kuma B'Yezrat Yisrael, Uvatechenu Mecha Yehuda B'Yisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael.
124.
Adonai sefatai titach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. 126. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Agadol Agibor Ve'Anora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Koneh Hakol Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'Imahot U'Mevii Geula לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. 128. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Page 130. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. Hallelujah. We're at the bottom of 130. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיגו לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיגו לך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיגו לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיגו לך. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
139. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imagination. Please join with me.
מודים אנחנו לך.
This fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons,
מודים אנחנו לך.
the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
מודים אנחנו לך.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Motim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared,
Motim anachnu lach.
for all who have labored, suffered, for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom,
Motim anachnu lach.
for human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Motim anachnu lach.
Join with me.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai.
Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulefanai leodot.
Sing shalom.
Sim shalom,
Maybe sing.
tova uvracha, vein v'chesed v'rachamim, v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Baruchenu Yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad ve'or panecha ki ba'or panecha nadatta lanu Adonai Eloheinu sim shalom tova ubracha ve'im v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael amecha Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed ve'ahavat chesed u'tzedaka u'bracha v'rachamim v'chaim v'shalom sim shalom tova ubracha ve'im v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael amecha v'tov בעיניך ומערך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שים שלום תורה וברכה עלינו וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך ברוך אתה אדוני ומברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
42.
One final plea for peace, the bottom of the page. Ose shalom librama, Oyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'inu, amen. Ose shalom librama, Oyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'inu, amen.
here, the moment we've been waiting for. It's our Torah service. Take a breath. We're on page 244. We all rise, and it's my joy to call up to open the ark, Daniel Lufer and Daniel Engel. Come on up. Our good spell will be holding Lucher, sorry. Lucher. You know who you are. Please rise to 44.
Ein kemocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemaasecha. Malchotecha malchot kol olamim, u'memshadecha bechol dor avador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Amar rachamim, ein iva v'yirtzonecha et Zion. Kibnei chomad Yerushalayim, kibnei chomad Yerushalayim. Ki bechar levad batachnu, melech elam v'nisa, Adon olamim. 246. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'levad Adonai b'Yerushalayim. 48. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, me'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo. Gadolu l'Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedol ve'hagevura ve'atiferet ve'hanetzach ve'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha tzedakah והמלאכה וימית נעשה לכל לראש. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו The Torah's at rest, so can we.
So reading from Parashat Acharei Mot, if you'd like to follow along in a Chumash, we do have many just outside our chapel space. Feel free to do so. We are on chapter 16 of the book of Leviticus, starting with verse 1. And we are going to get there in the scroll in just a moment. I think it's powerful that we have on this Shabbat that follows immediately after Yom HaShoah, Torah portion called Acharei Mot, after death. After death, we lead into life and we say L'chaim, and we offer words of Torah. And so for the honor of the first Aliyah, I call up Yaakov ben Abraham Eugene, Yonatan Chaim ben Michal Berut, Shmayahu ben Michal Berut, L'Aliyah Rishona. Come on over on this side.
You're following along indeed. Chumash, we're on page 679. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu me'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher baracha banu mikol ha'amin, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe achrei mot shnei bnei Acharon v'karvatam lifnei Adonai vayamutu. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe daber el Acharon ahicha ve'ol yavu bechol eit el hakodesh mibeit laparochet el pnei hakavoret asher al acharon ve'ol yamu ki be'anan ere al hakavoret.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah v'hayei olam natan.
B'tzochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Hang on, make sure.
And for the second Aliyah, calling up the Achayot. Come on, Claire and Hannah. Tamtu Chaya Sarah bat Michal Berut v'Chana Rivka bat Michal Berut l'Aliyah Shniya. Come on over this side.
Baruch
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Bezod yavo acharon el hakodesh v'far ben bakar v'chatat v'ayelol leolam. Ketonet bad kodesh yilbosh uvnichnasevad yiyu al basaro uvnifnafet bad yachor uvnifnafet bad yitznof bigdei kodeshim berachat b'maim et besaro
Ulesham.
And now all three of you, even though all three weren't called.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen, amen, amen. And now calling up the Ima and the Abba for the third Aliyah. Ya'amdu Ruth v'Michael Aliyah Shlishi.
Baruch Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ume'ed atat b'nei Yisrael yika shnei siri izim v'chatat va'il echad le'olam. No. Where was it? V'hikriv acharon et par chachatat asher lo v'chiper beidod uvad beito. V'lakha et shnei hasirim v'ha'amid otam lifnei Adonai petach ochel moed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Now we get to call you as a bar mitzvah to the Torah in honor of the Aliyah Bracha. Don't do it yet. First, we have to call you. Ya'amod, 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 Shmuel Avraham ben Michael Verut. Habachur, Habar Mitzvah Chaza.
Baruch et Adonai Chamevara.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Chamevara Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu michol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'natan acharon el shnei hasirim goralot. Goral echad l'Adonai v'goral echad la'azazel. V'hikriv acharon et hasair asher alav hagoral Adonai v'hasau chatat. V'hasair asher alav hagoral le'azazel ya'amad chai lifnei Adonai lachaper alav v'shalach oto le'azazel
Hamidbara.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu toret emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Now you can all be seated for just a moment. So with the Torah still here before us, we take this moment of victory, beautifully chanted, this moment of strength and nachas, and think of all those who are in need of healing. We direct our joy to them. Anyone in need of healing of any kind, maybe someone far away or someone sitting right beside you, Our Misha Berach prayer can be found on page 253.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And offering a prayer for our community, calling up your aunt, Dana, come on up. We're on page 258.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Amen.
So powerful when someone who lives by every word that she just said speaks. A prayer now for our nation will be offered by Uncle David. Melania, come on up. Uncle David here. He left. Let's read the prayer for our nation together because it's a good one for us to put our thoughts behind. We're on 258. Beginning with the words, our guardian, 258. Let's offer these with full measure of intention. Our guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And offering our prayer for the state of Israel, perhaps even in Hebrew, calling up Gali and Lily. Come on up. Oh, I guess standing in for the full family.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה.
ונאמר אמן.
Amen, amen. You know your sister is here. Spirit. And now for the the honor and the strength we need in raising Torah in Hagbah, calling up Max. Excellent, he didn't leave, that's beautiful. And for dressing the Torah, Jenna will be coming. Jenna, you can meet Elaine right down there. Of course, when the Torah rises, we will rise as well.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. מורשת קהילת יעקב, מורשת קהילת יעקב, מורשת קהילת יעקב, תורה ציווה לנו משה. May be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. Our Torah portion this week is Achronot. While some Torah portions are easy to connect with, many are not. I think most people would agree that this is not an easy Torah portion to relate to. But even this Torah portion has something quite interesting and relevant to our lives. My portion describes the ritual that the high priest Aaron was supposed to perform every year on the holiest day of our year, Yom Kippur. The portion says, "This shall be to you a law for all time. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall practice self-denial, and you shall do no manner of work." Yom Kippur is that day, the 10th day of Tishrei, the 7th month of our year, where we do not work and fast. The law also says that Aaron is supposed to choose 2 goats. Then he casts a lot on both of them, like a lottery with a 50-50 chance where both options are not great for the goats. One of the goats is sacrificed for Adonai, while the other is told all of the sins of the people and left to wander. The goat is meant to carry away our sins. This is where the concept scapegoat came from. The Torah says this, "Thus the goat shall carry on it all their iniquities, all their sins." This, of course, is hard to relate to our lives today. After all, we don't sacrifice goats anymore. I can't remember the last time I told a goat all my problems and carried it off to a mountain. When studying with Rabbi Meir, I wondered where exactly the high priest was supposed to take the goat. The Torah tells us, sort of. The goat is supposed to be taken to somewhere called Azazel. According to the 11th century commentator Rashi, Azazel is a towering sharp peak. That's where the goat must be taken. And the high priest actually had to take the goat there himself. Otherwise, it is quite possible the goat will just wander somewhere else. We talked about the symbolism of the towering peak. Azazel made me think about some hiking experiences I've had with my family. We climbed Klingman's Dome, and at the top, you can see 4 states. It's a pretty cool view. I think that being at the top of the mountain is a unique experience. There's nowhere to hide. It's all light. The light makes us visible and vulnerable. It's just Aaron himself, his shortcomings, and the goat. What does all of this have to do with Yom Kippur, our Day of Atonement? Rabbi Meir has helped me understand what atonement means. It is the work of realizing your shortcomings and reflecting on your own mistakes. Then the next step would be to have the courage to change, to be able to let go and get rid of those habits that are unkind or unhelpful. What this speech has taught me is that during our holiday season, beginning with Rosh Hashanah and continuing on with Yom Kippur, this is a spiritual work we are supposed to do. Aaron has to take the goat up the cliff called Azazel and let it go. We too have to take our errors and sins and take a look at them and let them go. Otherwise, we can't change. This is the lesson of realizing our mistakes, having the courage to acknowledge them and try to improve. We must climb our own mountain and get rid of our own mistakes. Just as Aaron had to struggle to take up the goat, all of us have to struggle to try and better ourselves. Speaking of bettering myself, I would like to thank some very important people for making this day possible for me. Cantor Adam has been incredibly patient with me, helping me through troubleshoot and finally succeeding. This has been a pretty trying age for him in COVID and Zoom, but he is a great teacher. He has an amazing voice and is special to study with someone like him. I also want to thank Rabbi Tara for being here today and being a great rabbi. A super big thank goes out to Rabbi Meir for helping me understand the meaning of the Torah portion. Before Rabbi Meir, it was just a pair of goats, a place called Azazel, and a very confused bar mitzvah kid. I'd like to thank my brothers for being a great role model, my parents for being the best parents a kid could have, and my sisters for always having my back. Speaking of backup, I'd like to have them up here to provide backup right now. Oh. Why are you here? Next is an honorary sister. Welcome to the sisterhood. Me and my sisters organized something, and I would like to sing for you. A remix of a song. There's no music, it's kind of awkward. Anyways. Yeah, just start it. Cool. Call the rabbi and tell him the news. We've got a holiday that he can't refuse. A day of harmony, a day of Torah. Sam Goldman's bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah day?
A reverential mission.
Bar mitzvah day.
The hope of every Goldsman. Oh boy, am I the only guy to stand up and say, hooray, bar mitzvah, hooray.
Yes, as in Sam Abraham Wilanic Goldman, born in 2009, bar mitzvah 2022, the youngest of 5 children, had to be born the one day we went to Adventureland.
Whatever, Sam, I just want to let you know that I'm on your side. I want to help publicity-wise with your bar mitzvah.
Thanks for your support, but I just don't want to see my bar mitzvah commercialized. Yes, the next thing you know, they'll be wearing bar mitzvah sweatshirts. Bar mitzvah day. Now, if you're wondering, how do we start? Just read the Torah till you know it by heart. We're gonna celebrate. We'll throw a party. It's my bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah day.
And when you say the title,
Bar mitzvah day.
you'll hear a great recital. The right of every boy and girl to stand up and say, hooray, bar mitzvah, hooray. Bar mitzvah day. Bar mitzvah day, bar mitzvah day, bar mitzvah day, bar mitzvah day. A philharmonic rumble, a polyphonic jumble, the humble dedication as we stand up and say, hooray, bar mitzvah, hooray.
I got it. We'll demand full page ads in every newspaper.
We'll start a chain or bar mitzvah superstore.
What do bar mitzvah pay for? We can have a bake sale.
Wait, that's too commercial. Let's imagine it's that glorious hour, filled with emotion, yet inspired with power. Can we all honor those women we adore? On this day we went to Adventureland, and I was born. He was born.
not over yet. A moment of reflection. He's the last old man. Oh boy, am I the only guy to stand up and say, hooray, bar mitzvah. Hooray! Hooray! That's it.
Hooray, 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 hooray. Can they hear me?
Papers are hard to pick up.
Yay, hooray.
Well, we will remember that.
Hooray, 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 hooray.
I heard a rabbi.
Woo! 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 That's awesome, awesome. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
So we now, we rise, we return the Torah to the ark, invite the family up to stand before the open ark, 256. All your sibs. Come on, Max and John.
כי לקח טוב נתתי להם תורתי אל תעזובו עץ חיים היא המחזיקים בה
All right, here we go. Yes, yes.
Like Johnny Carson. This is Howard Cosell. That's what I feel. Don't look at Mike. Wow. So, you know, I didn't know that music thing was about to happen. You know, if you're no, seriously, if you live in my house, there's constant any given time there could be 20 or 30 people rehearsing a Broadway. No, I'm serious.
20 to 30. Like
You could have 15 kids, 20 kids over. They're doing excuse me one second. No, we could have groups and groups of kids singing and dancing and acting. It's constant in the house. You constantly hear music and singing. So I don't know how you guys rehearsed that. I didn't even know. They kept that for me. Yeah.
That was the first time.
Was it? The first day you just put it together and did it.
They didn't know until about an hour ago.
Oh, they didn't know until an hour ago.
Elon, Aiden, and Emmett.
That happens all the time in the house. So look at that. They just wrote it and did it. There's always music in our house. A lot of singing, even on the occasions that they clean up, they make a song out of the cleanup. I'm serious. So I didn't know they were doing that. That was pretty amazing, right? Wasn't it great? Yeah. Yeah. On a side note, I'm noticing this really cool looking mic and guitars and piano and all those things. The only thing I think missing is Alan Schwartz on the tuba. It's a little inside joke. That's all right, Al. Yeah. Tuba lessons would be good, Alan. All right, I made some notes. Let's see if I can read my own handwriting. First of all, for those that don't know, Sam is named after Grandpa Sam and his uncle Abe. And we have family members here today who are descendants. His name, Sam, S-A-M, Samuel, and his name and his initials are the same. So Samuel Abraham Malanik, the maiden name Goldman is Sam G. In case anybody didn't know that about him. His name and his initials make out the same thing. I have to tell a joke. Because Passover just came, and I want to tell my Passover joke. So there's a Jew being knighted by the Queen of England, all right? And everybody knows the joke. So the Queen comes and taps everybody, and they say something in Latin. He doesn't speak any Latin. He doesn't know what to do. So they finally get him. She taps him on the shoulder, and he looks at everybody, and he says, and the Queen looks at everyone and says, why is this night different from every other night? I tell them that joke every single year. They had enough. All right, I tell them that joke. I got one more for my kids. They're gonna like it. Here we go. So there's a Shabbat, and this kid forgets his yarmulke, and the parents say, the father says to the oldest son, put your hand on your brother's head, and he says the bracha. And the following week, the kid forgets his yarmulke, so he puts his head on. He says, put your hand on your brother's head, and they say the bracha. And this keeps going on, and finally, put your hand on your brother's head, and the brother says, what am I, my brother's keeper? I hear that joke once a week. All right. Anyway, I had to tell. Sorry about that, Alan. I had to do it. Sorry. I apologize to Alan Schwartz for that. All right. Anyway, here we go. For those of you that I'm sure everybody knows that Sam has diabetes, right? And which is for those of you that don't know, you should know that is a real challenge. Sam probably wakes up sometimes 2 and 3 times a night. It's very disruptive to someone to do that, and to still do that while going to school, studying bar mitzvah lessons. It makes you really tired, and we wake up with him, of course. Sometimes getting up to dose insulin or having to take sugar to bring his blood sugar levels up. It's a really tough thing. He does that while still finding time to be, despite that tiredness and kind of toll it takes on your body. It does take a lot of toll on you. Time to be in the plays, usually the lead, with huge roles, having to memorize a lot of lines, music, dance, and with all that, and after being tired and kind of beaten up, he still gets up and does it, and even somehow writes a quick little Broadway show for everybody 5 minutes before coming up. So for Sam, for those of you that don't know, you should just know it takes a lot of courage. It's a lot of work, and it's really difficult. It takes a lot of toll on him, but he still does it. Sam, we're real proud of you, and we acknowledge that. 1 second. Sam makes fun of me, you should know, because I need glasses now. He's, oh, you're so old. And yeah. Oh, can you see that, Abba? Oh, hey, Abba. Jokes about the hairline. Can you see the hairline going up? I have bad news, Sam. It comes from the father. Okay. Just so you'll know.
Before we move topics, I just want to acknowledge that I did an entire bar mitzvah with a high blood sugar. Keep going.
Do you have a high sugar?
Yep.
Do you have to dose? Go dose. Go take insulin. So what else do we have over here? Sam, look around. I want you to look around, because despite the fact that you make fun of me for being old, when I was at your bar mitzvah, and I remember having conversations with the Saba thinking, you're in your 40s. That's so old. I remember that, and making fun of him. And Saba telling me, well, one day you'll get there. And here I am. And now I really, for Saba and all his friends, what does it feel like, guys? I mean, you're way. I'm serious. Like when I was, I'm just wondering, because I feel it now. But I know you think it's old, but I just remember Saba being my age when I was a bar mitzvah, and here I am, you being a bar mitzvah. And, yeah, okay, we're younger. So just keep it in mind. Look around at all the people that showed up to support you, and hopefully be around a lot longer. So thank you, everybody who showed up to support Sam today. Just keep it in mind. Take a look around. I remember the faces, Sam. Right? He just whispered in my ear, you're still old. All right, that's okay. He makes fun of me. You can't see all the time. Few more things. One more thing. A few more things I have over here. Oh, Sam's got a great sense of humor, because he has diabetes. Sometimes it does cause his body to shake sometimes, and he knows that he's on a low sugar. His body starts to tremble and shake, so he will know that. but I had to change the brakes on my car one day. And because I didn't change them, as I was driving around, when I was braking, the car would start to shake and tremble. And one day I came to a stop. He looks at me, change the brakes. The way this car shakes, it needs a good dose of insulin and some sugar. That's what he said to me. So he's got a good sense. Oh, sorry, side joke. What if John, Paul, George, and Ringo had diabetes? What would we call them? The Diabeetles. Sorry, Alan. All right. Okay. Anyway, but listen, Sam works hard, a lot of work, a great student, does his work, etc. It's not easy, especially in his with a medical condition, but he does it. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't complain about it. He just keeps going on like it's not there. And for that, I want to acknowledge that. A few more things to Mom. Everybody, you should know, I, as usual, have kind of nothing to do with this. Mom did everything as usual. She plans and does and works homework, doing lines with plays, which I've also done with him. Some of the plays I know by heart already, but she does homework and lines and transports and moves kids around and helps and does, and you name it, nonstop, 24/7. I don't think anybody could possibly do any more for their kids than Mom. So I'd like to acknowledge that, everybody. It's true. It's true. If there was more time in a day, she'd probably put it in. It's incredible. And finally, what else do we have? Just a couple of more notes. I told the brother's keeper. Hold on a second, just making sure. All right. The night, we did the Diabeetles. Hold on a second. You can't see, we got the hair. I got that part. Oh, is it getting cold? All right. Mom works. Oh, finally, can you please start doing your own laundry? I have a note over here. You got to start doing your own laundry. You're a man now. Everybody, thanks for coming. We look forward to seeing you at the the reception to follow. Anybody else want to say? No more girls. I don't know if this goes on this. Yes. No, we can do it. There's going to be a thing downstairs.
Yes.
And food, 2 in 1.
But a few more blessings before then. We're going to offer l'chilach, a moment of blessing for the journey, and then a few words from Rabbi Meir as soon as this prayer is done.
On page 341. L'chilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. L'chilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. L'chilach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechilach. And you shall be a blessing, lechilach.
Sam, can you see Meir? Can you see the screen? I think you'll see Meir in just a minute. And the sun is setting in Jerusalem, or maybe it has set, but he's here having had the blessing of working with you, and he's going to say a few words of blessing before the priestly benediction.
Okay. Sam, this has been a great hour and a half, hour and 40, whatever. For me, I've loved this time with you, being a part of this in this virtual way. from Jerusalem. I have to say that the Broadway show that Sam, you and Anna and Clara put on, actually, maybe there were some additional supporting voices in the background. I couldn't see them, but hooray, a massive hooray. I love it. I love it. I love it. And, you have such a beautiful heart, Sam. And I'm sure that I know that beautiful heart has a lot of ingredients in it. One of the ingredients I suspect is, the challenges that you faced. Your dad, described it in a little bit, the diabetes and our challenges. No one ever wants them or would ask for them, but they certainly, with you, make you a strong and powerful and considerate and sensitive young person. So I want to just, give you a formal blessing the way we do with every student. And I just want to start off by telling you how meaningful for me this morning has been and these last months of working with you. I want to tell you, all of you, Atem, Sam, what I've said to you in person, which is how much I appreciate this time we've spent together. I'm thinking about some of your qualities that I think everyone knows, but it makes a difference to say them, at least for me it does. You're a profoundly smart and talented and also deeply thoughtful human being. You're quirky and full of some surprises. You have, in my experience, a humble but strong and genuine self-confidence. And I have witnessed, I feel you becoming more and more mature by the day, by the week, the month. And my time with you, Sam, which, we spent a lot of time together in the last couple of months, but that connecting to the years, in the past, I see a very, very special quality, a light, a spark that I know will travel with you and will shine brightly upon you and everyone who gets to be close to you throughout your life. You may know, Sam, that Tara and I give every student a special gift on the occasion of their bar and bat mitzvah. We give a gift that travels very light because it's a verse from your Torah portion. And in your Devar Torah, you helped us unpack the meaning and significance of this weird, bizarre, esoteric thing called Azazel. And I want to add to what you shared, but before I add my thought, I want to just read the verse that I'm giving you, which is one of the verses that you chanted, chapter 16, verse 8. If you want to sing it as I read it. V'natan Aharon al shnei asirim goralot gora halechad ladonai v'goral echad la azazel. So you beautifully taught us, Sam, the opinion of Rashi, the French 11th century commentator, which is that Azazel is a place, a high, pointy, towering peak. And our job is to take our sins, sort of, you might say, a destructive energy up to that place. You described that and taught us that very, very deep and meaningful way. There's another famous commentator, Sam, whose way we refer to him as Ramban, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, who offers a different but very related idea. If Rashi tells us to locate Azazel on a high, pointy, towering peak way up and away, the Ramban tells us to look for Azazel in the hidden and concealed parts of our soul. For Ramban, like Rashi, Azazel is a place. It's a place of darkness, of dangerous energy that's inside each of us. For Ramban, Azazel is the inner energy that we describe oftentimes as darkness. There's a great teaching in the Talmud, Sam, that asks, if a person has desires, dark energy that can take her down, what should she or he try to do with those desires? One answer that some cultures around the world give, and maybe you know this, Sam, you probably do, is, okay, go become a nun or a priest or a swami or a monk. Sort of escape from the world. completely cut yourself off from the avenues that can take you into dark places. And actually, the Torah describes someone who's called a Nazir. And it's similar. This person lives a very ascetic life. Ascetic life. The one difference, though, is that being a Nazir in our Jewish tradition, it's a very temporary thing. No Jew can be a Nazir for his or her whole life. So from our perspective, cutting oneself off completely, trying to fully deny yourself entree into life, that's just not the Jewish way to confront our darker sides. So the Talmud has this very, I think, fun but deeply meaningful idea. And I share this idea in the name of Rabbi Benny Friedman, who he's speaking to this moment of Azazel, which you taught us about. And what the Talmud says is, if any of us has the desire to spill blood, the worst of human instincts, well then, become a butcher, a shochet. If you have a powerful yearning or desire to steal, in other words, to take hold of and possess other people's money, well, obvious, become a collector of charity. In other words, we shouldn't deny these desires, but rather embrace them. Says God to us, don't try to suppress all that energy or kill it or ignore it or stuff it away in some corner of our being. Rather, strive to channel it towards the good, towards light, instead of towards darkness. So let me just tell you, Sam, how I think this relates to you in two primary ways. First, as I said, it's so connected to what you taught us in your Devar Torah. Yom Kippur, this is the work of Yom Kippur and the sacrifices, the experiences of being on top of a mountain. And you and your amazing parents have had that kind of experience many times. I doubt you've had conversations about Azazel, but who knows, maybe your next mountain, your next climbing trip, Azazel will come up and you'll be like, oh, a new thought will strike you. Rashi and you, Sam, taught us that Azazel was a high towering peak. And what I'm adding now is that Azazel is not only about the where, as in the high peak, but also the where inside each and every one of us. What I add here leads to precisely the same insight as the insight you taught us all a few minutes ago. The second reason I give this verse to you, Sam, is because the world needs this wisdom now as much, maybe more than ever. We as humanity, a world, a nation, a zip code, we face so many serious challenges. We need leaders like Aaron, who can inspire others to do the kind of personal self-reflection and self-improvement that your Torah portion is commanding us to do. And I have a sense, Sam, that you have the wisdom, the self-confidence, the courage to lead and to set an example, to talk about life's challenges in an open and inspiring way. In my time with you, Sam, you have a knack, I think, for being both calm and present. You connect wonderfully to your peers, but also have an inner strength to make your own decisions. You don't feel a need to thoughtlessly follow along just because that's what others may be doing. And so I come to my blessing for you, Sam. May this moment be a lifelong memory filled with joy and purpose, of laughter and humor. May this moment inspire you to continue to grow, to lead, to be an example for others. May this moment raise you higher, make you better when confronting life's challenges. May you always know that your family, your amazing family from so many different corners of the globe, some of whom are very close to me here in Jerusalem. May you know that your family, friends, and community are always here for you. May you know, Sam, that the world is a better place when you're not afraid to be you. And I close, may you think of this bar mitzvah experience every time, Sam, that the Torah comes out of the ark. May all of us have opportunities in the coming years to learn and grow and have fun and sing together. May you feel tremendously proud to be a Jew. And may you know that there are very few paths in life, if any, that will feed your soul as much as your Jewish path. Mazal Tov.
Okay, come on up, and we're all going to rise as we bestow upon Sam
our people's most ancient blessing. Of course, you should be adding your silent blessings to Cantor Adams and my own.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287 ונאמן והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
So this is actually a special congregational moment. It's a family moment for sure, and you have such a tribe. But it's also a moment for our community. We have members of the community who come for Torah study every Shabbat, who have stayed to celebrate. And as always, we have a leader in the community come to speak and share a few gifts. And this morning, you're really lucky to have Randy Zeller, who is a studier of our tradition. She's a member of our healing professionals group, thinking about how we bring the art of medical science and our spiritual heritage together. An amazing mother and so much more. So she's going to give you some gifts.
Congratulations, out to you and your incredible family. This is a memorable one, so that I think we'll all hold on to. In this package is a travel chumash, a Kiddush cup from Brotherhood and Sisterhood, a Jewish book of wine, and the letter that you wrote in 6th grade when you were on your retreat. I wish you all the best. I hope your teachers, your family, rabbis, cantor, close friends, and all the heritage you have guide you for a successful, happy, and loving life. You are incredible, and I'm honored to do this today to you. Thank you. Good Shabbos, everybody.
All right, so I can hear the candies have been distributed, which is a beautiful thing. But I'm going to ask you to take the candy and put it down to the side, because we're about to do Kaddish, and their memories are sweet, but should not be interrupted with crinkling, right? So of course, in a moment like this, we remember all those shoulders upon which we are standing that have enabled us to reach this moment. We are thinking this week of those we laid to rest from our own community, Lenore Miskin and Edith Silverstein. And are there any names that anyone would like to utter at this moment? I'll just scan the room. If you want, you can say a name for Kaddish and stand as you do so and remain standing. Perhaps you're in a period of mourning, or if there's any name that comes to mind for any reason. So especially on this week of Yom HaShoah, we remember that there are so many who have no one to say Kaddish for them. For that reason, let us rise as a community as we turn to 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra chilutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are mourning, to all our people Israel, v'al kol yoshvei Tivel, to all humanity. Say one last time, amen. No candies yet. Let's do it at the end of Kiddush and Motzi. So can the family join around for Kiddush and Motzi right there around the table? You can even bring it to the center. We are on
page 300.
300.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei peri hagafen.
Excellent. Okay, let's have all your siblings lift up the challah, whether or not they are permitted to eat it. All right.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Feel free to grab a roll or to give it to someone who's hungry.
We conclude with Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra li'ed nasa b'cherzo kol azay melech shemo nikra v'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yihyeh b'tifara v'hu echad v'yein sheni להמשיל לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי בצור חבלי ביצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא בידו אבקיד רוחי ויית אישן ויעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. Shabbat Shalom.
It would help us a lot if you take your Siddur out with you and put it back in the shelf. Thank you so much.